Everybody everywhere these days is talking about AI, and here in Mississippi, it's no exception, even though I know a lot of y'all think us down here in Mississippi ain't up with all the new technology and AI and all that kind of stuff, but I promise you, a lot of us are. And, if everybody's using AI for everything, we might as well use it to figure out what are the best places for you to move to here in the Jackson Metro. So I want to figure out what are the top suburbs of Jackson, Mississippi. So I figured let's ask ChatGPT, see what it thinks. I'll give you my context on it, see what I think about it, my experiences is in these areas. There's not a ton of suburbs, so I'm going to get the top 5. We're going to get the top 5 from ChatGPT and just see what are the top suburbs for you to move to in Jackson, Mississippi. So here we go, ChatGPT, let us know what are the top 5 suburbs of Jackson, Mississippi. Give them to me one at a time, and I'll let you know when I'm ready for the next one. Here we go. And Madison. Okay, look, ChatGPT has probably just been, I don't know, they say it doesn't have access to the internet, but that's all the other websites. Madison is always up there. It's up there a lot, number 1, so no surprise that we're seeing that here from ChatGPT. I do want to ask it, why Madison? Okay, so Madison, one of the top suburbs, safety, okay. Crime rate is going to be pretty low there. You're in Madison County, and Madison is pretty tough on that. I mean, you can't even, we talked about another video about Charles getting a speed ticket. You can't even speed through Madison. They're going to be on top of you there.
I got caught.
Education. Yeah, you do. Madison Central there. And also, technically it's not in the city of Madison, but you also got Germantown High School, which is serving that same general area up there in Gluckstadt. Both of those are going to be highly rated. I'll pop up the ratings for niche.com. I can't remember what they are, but I know they're either high B's or A's. I think they're both A's. But here they are right there. You see those? Community. Madison offers a strong sense of community, recreational activities, local organizations, and they do that. They have a lot of stuff going on there in the community. They've also got a lot of stuff focused towards retirement. They kind of somewhat seem to have that identity of a retirement community too there. So they've got a lot of things kind of geared toward that. There's even some neighborhoods that are 55 plus in the Madison area. So you got that. I do hear some complaints that there's not a lot focused as much for younger families as there are maybe for the retirement age. Even though there are plenty of younger families in Madison, obviously you've got top rated schools, so you've got a lot of families there. But that is one of the complaints I hear from Madison. Amenities, sure, there are a good bit of things there in Madison. You got the Malco with IMAX Theater. You got some kind of basic shopping, your normal big box stuff like your Best Buy. You got Lowe's, Home Depot, all those kind of things. You don't have a big mall or a big shopping area where you've got a lot of different brands of clothing or outlets or anything like that in Madison, but you do have it right next door in Ridgeland, which I suspect will probably show up on this list too. And it's not right next to Jackson. It says proximity to Jackson, but you do have Ridgeland between there, but it is easy to get down. It's easy to get down because you're right here. If you look, you're on the north side of the metro, right on the other side of Ridgeland from Jackson. So if you need to get downtown, if you live right there in the core of Madison, it's probably only going to take you about 15 to 20 minutes to get to downtown Jackson. If you live farther up around Gluckstadt or Reunion, it could be more like 25 or so. But yeah, all those sound legitimate reasons there. Not surprised we got that as number 1. Hey, y'all, before we get to the next one real quick, I want to say if you want to see more content about what it's like living here in the Jackson, Mississippi metro area, getting out and seeing the neighborhoods, the suburbs, make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button, click the bell. That way you get notified when those videos come out. And if you're watching all this because you're thinking about moving here, just remember, I love making the videos. I love it even more when I can help you make that move here. So hit us up here, call, text, email, whatever it takes. Even if you got to do what you got to do, because we're going to take care of you making your move here to the Jackson metro area. But let's go and get next here. And yeah, here we go. Of course, it is Ridgeland. But let's see, let's find out why. Okay, why Ridgeland? Okay, so we go location again. We're again, now we're right next to Jackson, so we're sitting right here in between Jackson and Madison on the north side of the city of Jackson. They're bordering right up against it on County Line Road. Recreational, you're right here on the reservoir. So you're right there on the reservoir. You're right there on the Natchez Trace. You've got the trails. Obviously, you can get on the water. A good bit of stuff to do there. There's some parks in Ridgeland too that are pretty nice. So So yeah, not surprised on that. Shopping and dining Ridgeland is probably the shopping destination, and it'll probably compete with Pearl for that, and then Flowood probably a third place as far as shopping goes. If we're just looking at shopping, but yeah, Ridgeland I think takes the crown because you have not only the North Park Mall and everything else that's right there on county line, but you've also got the Renaissance over there on Highland Colony, and they're just building a ton of stuff. You got the Costco there a few years ago, which was the first Costco in this whole area, possibly in the state. I don't know if they had any down south or all the way up north in like the South Haven area. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But yeah, definitely in this area, and it's the first Costco that I've ever been to, and I've been a happy Costco member for ever since they opened up. Help some people here that moved from actually up in Utah. That was my first experience with Costco, and then helped several other Costco employees make that move here to the Jackson area. So a good bit of experience with them. If you like Costco, let me know what your favorite things is. I'm always looking for good deals at Costco. But you got all that in Ridgeland. More stuff coming up all the time. You've also got the cool little Old Town area, which I like. You've got some nice little shops down there. My favorite bike shop is in that little area. You've also got a good little Greek restaurant. Just all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff is in Ridgeland. And so let's see, quality of life. Yeah, I mean, you've got all these things. No surprise there. Economic growth with all the shopping and the things ringing in. Obviously, that's ringing in money to the area, and it's just continuing to grow. So, yeah, no surprise. Ridgeland is a great spot for you to look at if you're thinking about moving here. If you want to be, especially if you want to be in that north side, if you want to be in Madison County, you want to have close proximity to Jackson, you got all that there in Ridgeland. All right, let's go next. And Brandon. Okay, Brandon is going to be a little bit of a different vibe than we've gotten so far. Ridgeland, really a true suburb right on the city. Madison kind of following behind that. Brandon is really, you could call it a suburb. It definitely is. But Brandon is also, it's got its own identity. It's got its own little downtown area that's really nice with some local stuff down there. You don't have a ton of the big box type of things in Brandon. It's kind of like a small town that's just sitting right here close to the city of Jackson. So you do get that proximity of being close, but also having it, being a little separate too. So if you want to be a little separated from the whole metro area, but still be close enough, I'd say Brandon does that for you. And a little side note, that I'm talking about the city of Brandon mostly as it relates to this as a suburb, but you'll see houses with Brandon addresses on the north side of Flowood too. We call that the res area, the reservoir. On the north side of Flowood, you get a 39047 zip code instead of a 39042. I did a video about that a long time ago. I'll pop that up at the top so you can see and just kind of understand the differences between those. But I'm talking about here, and I think it's talking about the city of Brandon, which is going to be down there along Highway 80 and I-20 in Rankin County. So yeah, schools, again, Brandon, yes, I'll pop up the niche.com rating here. We've got high-rated schools. We're part of the Rankin County School District here, which the entire district is rated pretty well. Most places that you look, Brandon's not going to be any exception to that. Affordability, since you are a little bit separate, you do have some areas where you can find some things a good bit more affordable than the average, at least definitely for the suburbs of Jackson. You can find that there in Brandon, but it's definitely not the lowest. There's other suburbs where you can get more affordable things, and in some cases, depending on what you're looking for specifically, maybe better value for you. So, obviously, all this is subjective to what are you really looking for. ChatGPT doesn't know that. ChatGPT does not know that. I don't know that. But it's a good place to start here anyway. Community atmosphere. Yeah, I think you've got the small town vibe. Outdoor activities. You've got some cool stuff there. You've got some parks. You've got the quarry over there. You've got some trails and things there. You've also got the amphitheater in Brandon. You got the Brandon Amphitheater where we have stuff come through. I mean, pretty big names actually are coming through Brandon at the amphitheater. My wife went to see Chris Stapleton a little while back. I hate that I missed that. But you've had him. A lot of, I will say, a lot more country acts, country artists come through than anything else. But we've definitely had other than that. It's definitely not just country. You've had all kinds of stuff come through. So a lot of stuff there. All right, let's get on to the next one. And next up on the list is Pearl. Okay, Pearl is going to be one of the ones that's going to give you a lot more, even more affordable options than Brandon. Let's go ahead and see why it says why. Okay, yeah, convenience. I can see that because Pearl is right across the Pearl River from the city of Jackson. So if you want to get downtown Jackson, you can hop on I-20, Highway 80, even Old Brandon Road. You can cut through there. There's several different ways you can get right into the city of Jackson, straight downtown. If you're going to be working down that way, if you're going to be working over by, the Bellhaven area, the hospital district, all that kind of stuff, you can get there pretty easily from Pearl. And retail and entertainment, like I said, I think I would rate it number 2 as far as shopping goes, because you do have the outlets in Mississippi there. And, they have these in a lot of major cities. Somewhere will have an outlets. They got them up in South Haven. They've got them down there on the coast by Foley, Alabama. They've got them in Dallas and in San Marcos, Texas, and Round Rock. All these places all around have these different outlets, and it's pretty similar to what you're going to find there. Nike, Under Armour are usually the big name tenants. Those are the ones over here. But then there's tons of other little stores, and there's even some local shops in there too. It's also right across from the stadium where the Mississippi Braves. So you can go catch a baseball game there. You'll also occasionally, once or twice a year, Mississippi State and Ole Miss will play there too. So yeah, you got a lot of shopping, retail, entertainment stuff right there in Pearl. Bass Pro Shop also right there in Pearl on I-20. So lots to do in Pearl as far as that goes. Again, like I said, affordability. You can find homes. It's getting tougher under 100,000. You might, not under 200,000, but you can still find them under 200,000. Maybe even something smaller, older, under 150 in Pearl. So it's a good opportunity to find something there if that's what you're looking for. On the flip side, Pearl also has some really nice neighborhoods too, where you can get on up there in price point to get something newer, or maybe on a much bigger lot in different parts of Pearl. So a good range of things there. Of course, with all the shopping, the retail, everything that's going on in Pearl, you do have the economic opportunities, and yeah, they do actually have some good parks there. You've got a public pool in Pearl. You've got a golf course. So yeah, you got some things going for you in Pearl. Let's go ahead and get to the next one though, and the last one on the list, and it is Flowood. Which, if you watch the channel very long, I live in Flowood, so I might be a little biased to it. Because I'm here all the time. But Flowood is, it's got a lot going for it, and it is booming, y'all. Let me tell you. Now, since I have lived here, Flowood has blown up. Now, it was kind of gradual and slow for a while, but here lately, it is definitely blowing up. It's booming here. We've got a lot of projects, development going on. There's new neighborhoods being built. The Bristol Crossing, I think it is. And then right there next to that, you've got the Pinelands that they're developing, where up until very recently, the only thing there was a Walgreens. Then you had Popeyes, and I think that's Firestone Tire there. And now we're getting a slider place. I've heard rumors that a Walk-Ons is going to be there. They're building a Bojangles for sure on the corner. I've also heard rumors of an Arby's right across the street from that. We just got an Aldi. And they're building yet another car wash. So we got a lot of car washes going on here in Flowood. And several other things. It's just a ton of stuff going on right there in that area. And then you also have the huge development a little bit farther down Lakeland, closer to Jackson, right there in the Dogwood area, where you've got the Dogwood Shopping Center. Remember I said Flowood probably number 3. It's because you've got that. You've got the Dogwood shopping area, as well as Market Street, which has kind of got some more local stuff in there too. So tons of stuff there in Flowood, and give it another year or two and there's going to be a whole lot more. And then again, Flowood, you're right here next to the reservoir, and you've got the trails that connect to the reservoir going around Pelahatchie Bay, and of course you're right here. You can get out in the water, do what you want. Let's see why ChatGPT thinks though, not just me. Okay, retail and dining, yeah, I just told you. You got a lot here, a lot coming. Healthcare services. I think Flowood, even though I don't think Flowood is a certified retirement community, you have some of those around here. Some of these on this list were, you have a lot of that here. I know that's what a lot of people look for, is having healthcare services and things. So you've got a lot of your specialist type stuff here in Flowood, and it's easy to get downtown to the major hospitals as well. If you need to get down there, it's not very hard to get down Lakeland Drive. to get to all of those, including the VA hospital. It's, you know, you can get right down there to it in Jackson. So all that's right there. Economic growth, yeah, it is booming. Recreational, yeah, it's easy. We've got, not only do we have the reservoir and the chance to get there, which is adjacent to Flowood, you've also got one of the top parks in the area in Winter Circle Park, and you've also got the nature park where you can get out if you want to kind of just a more scenic nature trail through the woods, essentially, which is just kind of right next to that. And again, proximity to Jackson, it is. Now, we'll say this with a caveat: Flowood technically is right next to the city of Jackson. It's just like Pearl, it's right across the Pearl River from Jackson. However, most of the residential areas of Flowood are going to be farther up Lakeland Drive and closer to that reservoir area. That's why when we talk about the reservoir area, we kind of group that with Flowood, because it's almost like it's the residential part of Flowood, just because everything's up that way, and you've got more the healthcare and the industrial and the retail stuff on the side that's going to be closer to Jackson. So yes, it is close, but you do have to, you know, for the most part, if you're living in Flowood, you're going to be going all the way down Lakeland Drive into Jackson to get there. It's not very far. It doesn't take that long, but it might on the map appear to be just as close as Pearl, and most likely it's not going to be. So that's something to keep in mind there. So what do you think of these? Do you agree? Is one of these on your list, or would you add another one? Would you take one away? You know, this is ChatGPT. You know, I didn't come up with this. I didn't tell it what to say. But you know, I think it probably did pretty good and kind of matched a lot of the other things. If you get online and look, these are pretty similar than the list you'll get other places. So there you go. And since we ended on Flowood, if you want to know a little bit more about it, check out the video that we did right here. I think you'll like it if you're even considering Flowood, or you think you might. Check that one out. I'll see you there.